Here's a market recap of April 3rd, 2025. And at the open, price came up a little bit, took out this high, but then started to sell off. And that was not unexpected considering the down move we had yesterday following the tariff discussion. We came below the overnight lows and price started to rally. I was looking for a retrace to the short side, but when price came up above at this level, I was starting to think that a full retrace to the overnight high and previous day low was possible. That obviously didn't develop. So we started to trade down. And one thing that stood out to me was that a fib retracement from this low to this high, price came back down to the 50% and respected it, and then ranged in this area. And it was almost like it was very uncertain. There was a lot of volume and movement, and then price started to come off. And that's when I started to think that if people also thought that this was a retrace before another move up, longs would eventually have to exit their position and puke. So I started trading to the short side and had some decent moves there. But probably one of the most frustrating times was when I think it was in this area here. It was between 72, 79, a lot of movement on the 1 minute bars, no direction. And Delta kept making higher highs and higher lows, and price was just not moving. So it was hard to stick through any type of short. But at that point, again, I thought if there's all this buying in the market and price is not moving up nearing the close, it will have to sell off. So we finally broke this, kind of retested it, and then sold off. But one thing that also stood out to me was that at this point, price made a low and then was drifting up, and Delta was following that. But when we put in this high here, price started to fall, but Delta was just continuing to move up this entire time. And that also kind of fueled the idea that with all this market buying, they would eventually have to unload, and price would continue down toward this 54.08 level that we put in last night. We didn't quite reach it, but that was the level that we were looking at. So now going into tomorrow, so on this fib retracement, the 123.6 price respected, kind of bounced, and then the 138.2, there was a small bounce here as well. There was a lot of volume put in between 54.28 and 54.47. So I'm looking at those levels tomorrow to see how price reacts to them. I'll be looking at those levels for potential resistance. I think that is all I have. I think the plan for tomorrow is to see how the overnight session plays out, what kind of retrace we'll get, if any, specifically up into the value low, which I'll mark, or value area low, I'll mark on the charts for tomorrow. But yeah, a lot of volume here, finally broke down and put in some volume here. So I'm interested to see how it's going to play out tomorrow. Looking at higher time frame, looking at a measured move that's already exceeded the measured move. Yeah, I think the levels to the downside are the 54.08, and then below that we have 53.68 quarter. So that's all I have for you today. I'll be back tomorrow before the open, and until then, we'll see you next time.